On being a good girl.
Well, I just want to say, first of all, thank you for being here. We as a council understand how important this issue is to you. And we want to make the best decision, not just for some majority, or we want to make the best decision for everyone. And as I'm listening to other council members, I do want to make a suggestion to where Councilmember Ayoff was going, and if we could have Corp Counsel Lincoln Ashida come forward. I want to throw in a third option in there. Someone mentioned a task force and an ad hoc committee. The third option is a study group. Have, for example, the geothermal health study group that was facilitated by Peter Adler. And this takes it out the hands of each council member so they can do their responsibility for their district and make sure that their districts are taken care of and not just focus all their energy to this one issue, but that facilitator, it will be the neutral facilitator that will look at both issues. And that is a third option, and I wanted to know if that conflicts with any sunshine violation or any rules in our council floor that is compared to the study group, compared to the ad hoc committee or the task force.
I'm not sure I understand exactly who comprises this group, what their task is. Are you talking about council members being on this group?
Well, the ad hoc committee, of course, it's run by the council. There's 4 at most. And the task force, you have at most 2 council members because of sunshine violation. Well, the whole reason why, what I'm hearing from other council members, the reason why we're even going to a task force or an ad hoc committee is because we ourselves don't have not only the expertise, but the experience of dealing with GMOs or genetically engineered organisms. So the reason why you even start a study group or a task for an ad hoc committee is to find what the findings are and hear the recommendations. They're just 3 different processes. I'm just trying to give you a third option to this body to figure out what is best. What can we get that is the most accurate information and the least bias on either group, and will be the best information that we can make the best decisions on. Am I just rambling on, or?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you mean. When I think of study group, it's 6 of my friends in law school sharing notes with each other.
Well,
you know,
the task force, I mean, the simple thing would be whatever's in the task force would be the same in the study group. For example, you would have somebody who's a nutritionist, so someone who knows nutrition, someone who's a rancher, an organic farmer, so on. So that study group would find out what key players they need.
Can I just interrupt there?
Go ahead.
That's exactly the point I was making when Ms. Eoff asked the question. If you're going to go down the road of starting to be specific like that, you're better off doing the permitted interaction group, the ad hoc committee under HRS 92, because at this point you're beginning to dictate, I want someone from this discipline, from this science, this, you know, and once you start going down that road of being specific, you are essentially by legislation creating a sunshine board, that whether you put 2 members on that board or not, up to 2 council members, you can't hide behind the permitted interaction exception, the 2-member permitted interaction exception. It don't matter. You created a sunshine board. So if what you're suggesting is this, a study group comprises members who, from various disciplines, the safest thing is just to go through the formation of an ad hoc committee through the permitted interaction exception to sunshine. I mean, since you asked, that's what I think.
Okay. So that is, if I could have Councilmember Rayoff comment.
Thank you. Yeah, the thoughts that come to mind for me, a study group, fine. A task force, fine. There's a lot of information out there, and it's wonderful to accumulate a lot of information. But I feel that what we need to do as a legislative body is find out how we can put together language that we would consider good legislation for our island. And I don't think that either the task force or a study group, while that could happen on the side, I don't really think that would help us. I think that'll bring us back to the same point we're at right now, and there's going to be information all over the place. We need, I think, to stay in control of a conversation that helps us to craft language, and that's what I'm not sure whether if that's even would be an allowed or a permitted interaction between four of us.
Answering that question, actually, a permitted interaction group, if you look at the definition of it under HRS 92, it's to investigate.
Investigate.
So
what can we investigate?
It gets really touchy if you create a permitted interaction group, a task force, an ad hoc committee, to go draft legislation, because really that's what should be done here. Yeah, it's the purpose is to investigate.
So an ad hoc committee could investigate, and then the maker of the legislation could amend in using that information.
That's one option.
That ad hoc committee would bring back to the council.
Absolutely.
Okay, Mr. Ilagan has the floor. I need to make a little comment here. I think we're actually getting really far off of Bill 79, because we're not talking about Bill 79, we're talking about task force, which is okay. This committee can set up we can set up an ad hoc committee. That's not a problem. But I'm going to call on the two people who have not yet spoken, but I think we need to talk about the bill. That's what everybody's out here is sitting and waiting for us to talk about, the bill. What's in the bill, what's not in the bill, that type of thing. So, Mr. Yoshimoto, you're next.
Are you done?
Are you finished at this moment? By the way, this is a very controversial subject. I am not going to limit us to three rounds. If it takes more to get this resolved, I'm okay with that. So, Mr. Ilagan, do you want to yield the floor at this time, or you want to go on?
I just got a couple more sentences
go
to
ahead.
say, and then I'll yield the floor. I just wanted to give another option, and that was a study group. Now, how I am feeling about this original bill is one of the things that really concerned me, Councilmember Kern already voiced it out. It's so hard to understand what will happen when this bill becomes law, this original bill. And I just wanted to voice out that I would be in favor in trying to find out those information that could unfoggy that or clear it up. And that's the reason why I would be interested in either setting up a task force or an ad hoc committee or a study group to somehow draft those language that would be more precise and more clear rather than this current bill. So that's how I feel at this time. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Mr. Yoshimoto.
Oh, thank you, Madam Chair.